Welcome back. The race is on for the Democratic National Committee chair. The Young Democrats of America held the first candidate forum of the race during its winter meeting last week. Former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, Minnesota Democratic Party Chair Ken Martin, Wisconsin Democratic Party Chair Ben Wickler, and New York State Senator James Skoufis all took part. And New York State Senator Skoufis joins us now. Welcome to Morning Joe.
So good to have you here. We have the most powerful Democrat in America who's sitting next to you. So why don't you ask the first question,
Reverend Al, take it.
James, let me ask you this. Over the last 3 decades, we've seen the fight in the Democratic Party. Back in, say, the late 80s, 90s, it was the Democratic Leadership Council against Rainbow Coalition, then Howard Dean, and I ran in that cycle against the more moderates. How do you see you running as a new face nationally, trying to bring the party together rather than having these torn sides, which only leads to ultimate defeat of the Democratic Party when you have the conservative or the so-called moderate side against those that are more progressive?
This is the core question, right? How do we rebuild the once big Democratic tent, the tent that's fraying on both edges? And I've done this for the past 12 years daily. I come from a district that Donald Trump just won by 12 points.
But you won by 14.
I won it by 14. He's won my district 3 times. And so I live and breathe every day coalition building. And how do we bring back folks under that big tent that we used to? We haven't dominated in a national election since 2008. It's been 16 years since we've had a dominant performance. We've either white-knuckled it across the finish line or we've lost. And the next DNC chair, I believe the single most important thing that he must do or she must do is throw out the old DC playbook. It just hasn't worked in a long time. And if you're a candidate in this race who's been at the table, who has been a DNC lifer, and you haven't delivered that change in the 5, 10, 15 years you've had a seat at that table, who's going to expect or going to deliver that change as DNC chair? This moment calls for an outsider, an aggressive outsider who knows how to win. And that's why I'm running for this race.
The BBC's Katty Kay's with us from Washington has a question for you. Katty.
So, James, I was interested to read what you've written about this, about moving fast. And you've said that we're in a moment that is of realignment, that is anti-elite, anti-corporate and strictly populist. Can you talk not so much about the policy side of things, because I think the Harris campaign had policies that were on the books that were helping working class Americans, but maybe they just didn't cut through. But can you talk about the character and the style, what my kids would call the vibe of the candidate that you see who can break through to and seem authentically connected to working class Americans at the moment? How important is that to you, and what does that look like?
That's right. The next DNC chair, this isn't a policy-making role. I'll give you an example that I think underscores exactly what you're talking about.
You kind of represent how you see the aura of the party.
Of course. So I spoke with a DNC member in Arizona a few days ago, obviously a battleground state, and she told me that she got upwards in the heat of the campaign 16 big glossy mailers a day, daily, from the National Democrats. And I've run a lot of campaigns. I've won all of them. There is nothing that the 16th mailer is doing that the 15th mailer was not doing. And so we have to get away as a party from the DC consultant class, from the folks who I'm referring to as the cocktail circuit, and shift our attention and our focus and our resources to the boots on the ground, the party loyalists, the faithful, who are actually moving the needle and are in the trenches. Our friends in organized labor feel that they've been taken for granted for cycles and cycles. And I don't just want to be the DNC chair that picks up the phone and frantically calls them when I need folks at a rally, boots on the ground. I want them in the room when we're developing the strategy, the guidance, how to move forward with rebuilding the working class that we've lost. I come from a union class, a union household, a working class household. And, we need to get back to talking to the folks who, quite frankly, feel completely disconnected from the Democratic Party. We use overly academic language as if we're running for university chancellor. Sometimes we got to start becoming relatable again as Democrats.
So, Senator Skoufis, you have won your district each time Donald Trump has won in your district. If you become the chair of the DNC, how do you go to Washington and get the collected brainiacs at the top of the Democratic Party, and I say that lightly, all you hear from them is, how could people vote for Donald Trump? Or the alternative they use is, how can people be so stupid? How do you tell those other Democrats that the people who voted for Donald Trump are not stupid?
You're 100% right. We've gotten into this bad habit as a party of lecturing people, telling them what they should think, how they should feel. If they don't agree on the border, they're racist. If they don't agree on X or Y or Z, they're stupid, as you just stated. And look, the next DNC chair has to do a lot of rebuilding of our coalition. And the perfect example is the conflict in Gaza, where because we've walked on eggshells, because we have not engaged meaningfully in this conversation, we've managed to piss off every stakeholder. I represent 40,000 Orthodox Jews in my district. They vote for me, but they feel completely disconnected from the National Democratic Party. The Arab American community, obviously, as we all know, precipitous declines on Election Day. College campus activists, they feel completely disconnected from the Democratic Party. So, the next DNC chair needs to go with contrition to groups like this, leaders in these communities, stakeholder groups, and explain, look, we haven't gotten it right the last couple of years, the last couple of cycles, and we want to do better. We want you back under our once big Democratic tent. It starts with reaching out to these folks, demonstrating respect. And look, if you've been part of the DNC apparatus, again, for 5-10 years, as some of the other candidates have, and you haven't been doing these things, who's to expect that you're going to start now suddenly doing these things as DNC chair? I've done this daily in really difficult terrain, and that's certainly what I'd look to scale up as DNC chair.
One of the most striking things, Senator, about Donald Trump's win this time around was the gains he made. We can start in a place like New York City, in Queens or Brooklyn, among African-American voters, among Latino voters, among Asian-American voters. What do you read into that? Because that was a trend we saw around other cities and across the country as well, border counties in Texas, for example, with Latino voters moving toward Donald Trump. What do you see in those numbers, and how do you bring those voters back?
It starts by showing up. And when I say showing up, it's not paying a celebrity or paying a TikTok influencer to try and wrangle 18 to 29 young black voters, young Hispanic voters. We as Democrats have to show up. The candidate, the next DNC chair, our Democratic Party leadership. And if you look in a lot of our urban centers, there wasn't so much a shift in support from Harris to Trump. We just didn't come out. So these are voters who feel like we've taken them for granted. And the way that I overperform in my majority minority communities, like places like Newburgh and Middletown in the Hudson Valley, is I show up and I listen and I do something about the issues they care about. Maternal health, general health care access, the rent is too high. We've got to stop as Democrats putting people into different academic buckets and categories. We've become too concerned with that, and we've lost sight of doing work on the issues that they care about. And so they didn't show up to vote for anybody.
You know, it's one of the things Bill Clinton told me last week, Rev, that you got to meet people where they live. And too many people believe the Democrats didn't do that. Bill Clinton believed the Democrats didn't do that. And Mike Barnicle asked a great question about Trump voters. If you call all of them stupid, you're going to lose the next election, too, because even if you don't understand why somebody may have voted for Donald Trump, there's a reason why you and I say all the time, we're in the conversion business. We don't care when somebody converts. We just want them to convert. And if the Democrats are going to win in 2 years, in 4 years, in 6 years, they need to be in the conversion business. And don't go in judgmental. I mean, we can talk about this spiritually. You don't go in and tell somebody you're going to hell, now come to my church. You figure out how to meet them where they live, and then move them over to your side, right?
Absolutely right. Well, one of the things that a good minister understands is Jesus did most of his ministry outside of the synagogue. In fact, he was only in the synagogue maybe twice in the Bible. He was in the highways and byways.
He was criticized by religious leaders for being with the quote sinners, the
That's right.
tax collectors, the adulterers, the people that the religious leaders wouldn't be around.
And those in civil rights, what I do, the best ones are those that reach out for converts to bring people in to what we're trying to fight for and see it as right, not try to beat them down and say you're just a bad person. Then they'll confirm it and say I'll be a bad person.
Well, and self-righteousness is not going to get the people Democrats need to get to win the next election.
New York State Senator and candidate for DNC Chair James Skoufis, thank you very much for
Thank you so
coming
much,
on the show
Senator.
this morning.
Thank you.
Very nice to
Appreciate
meet
it.
you.
Thank you. You too.
All right.